Now, this is one of the most incredible transfer stories I think I've ever seen, Rory. The Moises Caicedo saga. Brighton have said they will not accept an offer from Chelsea for less than the British record 111 million that Liverpool have agreed. That's what talkSPORT understand. But, I mean, if we roll back on this a bit, it was Chelsea who were initially interested. Then Liverpool hijacked the deal and came in. And then it looked like Caicedo was going there for 111 million. And now Chelsea are the hijackers. It's absolutely crazy. Just before we get into it, Rory, let's hear from Roberto De Zerbi, the Brighton manager. Here's what he had to say about Caicedo earlier today.
I've already forgotten Moise. I'm really proud for the player we have in the squad. I think we have to complete the squad. We want to improve the squad because we lost McAllister, we lost Colwill, maybe we lose Caicedo. I think the big club can buy the players, but they can't buy our soul and our spirit. That is not on the market, and this is most important than the players when they leave.
Yeah, I mean, whatever he's saying there, De Zerbi, it's phenomenal business, this, from Brighton, if they get this deal over the line. Apparently, at the moment, Chelsea encouraging Caicedo to stall on an undergoing medical at Liverpool, and they're preparing their offer. But, yeah, as I say, Brighton aren't going to take it unless it's 111 million.
It's like an episode of Succession,
isn't
it? Like, everybody's pulling strings. You've got Lady Macbeth whispering. You've got Shiv Roy sort of playing both sides. Slow down and make sure that your medical doesn't happen just while we get our ducks in a row.
What do you think he's doing? Just walk around the medical... I'm just going to walk on the treadmill, lads.
Yeah, I've just got a quick phone call to make. Hello, Mum. It's
absolutely amazing.
It is unbelievable. Do you know who I love? Like, honestly, really rate so highly. I think he's just sensational. Zerbi. He's everything I want in a manager. Do you know that? Yeah. Everything that I want in a manager. And don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with Pochettino. Pochettino is doing all of the right things as well. Even very small tweaks that Pochettino is making to Chelsea. Yeah, they really are really warming to them. They really do resonate with who I am at Chelsea and what I want Chelsea to be. Just tiny things like he's swapped the dugouts round. So he's put the dugout, now the home dugout, nearer our main end, which is a Matthew Harding. Little things like that. Love little tweaks. Yeah. So he's getting everything right. But De Zerbi, that I love. The way that he's just spoke there, De Zerbi has basically said, when Caicedo would have been a Brighton player, De Zerbi, I imagine, would have died for him. Yeah. Now he's gone, De Zerbi has said, I've forgotten about him already. Yeah. That's
so good to hear as a Brighton fan, isn't it? Yeah. Actually. Because let's be honest.
The only problem if you're a Brighton fan, you're going to be looking at his conduct and his results and his style of play and suddenly going... Slow down a bit, mate. Yeah, slow down a bit because you're going to be the next Bayern Munich manager or something. Because he's just so good.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Yeah. Also, I mean, I remember doing an interview with Sandro, the former Spurs midfielder, and who'd played under him when he was really starting out in this club.
Because obviously you're a Newcastle fan. Do you know? I thought you were going to say that.
Tonali.
Yeah, I thought, wow, are you just on like best? Are you on like first name terms with Tonali?
Yeah. We've been to Greg's.
Sandro. No, I do remember.
Oh, Sandy. Yeah, great lad.
I do remember Sandro that you just mentioned there, the Tottenham player. He scored a brilliant goal at Stamford Bridge once.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Chelsea ended up winning the game very like a fluke. Gomez chucked it into his own net. Yes, but Sandro scored a blinder.
Yeah, incredible. That was such a good game. Yeah. That was proper. Oh, and the Prem's back. Oh, what a day. This is brilliant. But yeah, he was saying that he was at one of De Zerbi's first clubs and in Italy, and he said. And bear in mind, that Sandro played under some amazing managers. Played for Brazil, played for all these kind of teams, and he was easily the best manager I ever played under. It was honestly incredible, and he's so highly rated. It's a amazing future.
Brighton's recruitment, it's just truly brilliant. I mean, you can use Caicedo as an example here. Yeah, he's played 41 games, and he's gone from being a £4 million signing who no one had heard of, to the most expensive player in the Premier League.
Incredible. And Jeremy was telling me earlier as well that Brighton earned something like $2 million a game from what they're going to get for him.
Really?
With that, if the fee is 111
Is that what they
million.
really?
It's something like
2
that.
million,
I mean, that is absolutely
Their
astonishing.
recruitment is amazing. Like that Tony Bloom, it's just exceptional, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is just sensational.
I mean,
work.
people praise the way Brentford do it, and it's very similar in that sense. But Brighton, as you say, they seem to do it on a different level.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. Isn't it funny as well with Liverpool? I mean, if they do eventually get Caicedo, we still don't really know what's going on, but they're kind of attempting to just get Brighton's midfield from last season, really, aren't they? They have McAllister, they have Caicedo.
Yeah. Although Chelsea have, if you think about, the game that we were talking about earlier, where this was kind of becoming a little bit of a saga and almost a plot line.
Yeah.
I imagine that maybe Robert Sanchez, Mark Cucurella, Levi Colwill, could they have all been putting in a word for the Chelsea project?
Oh, it's a good shout.
Yeah.
It's a good shout. But that seems to be where he's happy. It's like you said earlier.
Him and Sanchez are very good friends as well, apparently. Maybe we sign Sanchez.
Just to get him.
Yeah.
There's so many little parts of this deal. It's absolutely amazing. They should have made a documentary about this deal.
They will.
They 100% will. They have to. Amazing. It's funny, when we were talking about Liverpool's midfield just there was a YouTuber talking about it as well, he was a Liverpool fan, and he was saying that if Liverpool did get Caicedo and they had Szoboszlai and they had McAllister, he said that they would have the best midfield in the Premier League.
Yeah, they wouldn't, but they would have a very good midfield.
It would be I don't think it would be in the top 3. Well, I think Man City's first.
Manchester City and Arsenal, I think you could easily make a case for Arsenal having the best midfield in the league.
Do you think that Newcastle's midfield would be better than Liverpool's? Even if they had those 3?
No.
Do you not?
Not Newcastle's, no.
What? You don't rate Sean Longstaff?
No.
But if you think about it, Bruno, Joel Linton and Tonali in midfield
is very good, but not better than...
Not quite better than them.
No.
Isn't it weird? No, but isn't it weird that if Brighton had... Do you think if Brighton had signed Szoboszlai and I'd read those names out, you'd have said, yeah, no, Newcastle's are better?
Possibly. No, possibly.
Isn't that weird, though?
Yeah, possibly.
Because you would have said that.
Yeah, no, that's certainly
and
true.
there we see the true Rory.
Yeah, the true bias.
The true Rory.
Big club bias, yeah.
Speaking of Liverpool, let's hear from Jurgen Klopp now. He's been talking about this deal, and he said that the fee had been agreed.
I got told that I can confirm that the deal with the club is agreed, whatever that means. Exactly in the end, because we want the player and not any kind of agreement. We will see. We'll see that. What did change? We are a club. We have not endless resources, so if we didn't expect a couple of things happening in the summer, and stuff like this, we didn't think about that before the summer, to be honest. And when it happened, then we gave it a go, and obviously the club was really stretched it there.
It's funny, isn't it? You even sniggered at that little bit there, didn't you, Rory, when he just said, fee's been agreed, whatever that means.
Yeah.
No idea. I mean, he's the manager and he doesn't really know what's going on.
But it makes me feel a lot better because, certain things happen in football. I'm just like, I'll go with it, but I have no idea what you're talking about here.
Every time Alex Crook comes on, I'm like, yeah,
I don't know what that means, mate, but fine. I like that Jurgen Klopp, arguably, easily argued, the best manager in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he doesn't really know what that means either.
Yeah.
Fee's been agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So is he your player?
Who's he playing for? That's all I need to know. Does it mean that he's playing for you or not?
Oh, brilliant stuff. It's funny because also in that clip he was talking about, why they can now spend the money, and he had to row back a bit on because he made some comments back in 2016 saying that, if we spend 100 million on a player, I'm giving up. It can't get that bad. But it's almost like what you said earlier. I mean, the inflation levels have just been incredible, so much so that what is a bargain anymore? What is a bargain?
I think what we have to remember, if you're talking about a Premier League club making a transfer, the 20 Premier League clubs are all in the biggest clubs in the world because they're in the Premier League, and they therefore have. I don't like this statement, by the way. I don't like that we have a situation where a newly promoted Forest can outspend Bayern Munich. I don't like the fact that Ajax can't compete with West Ham for players. It's ridiculous. I don't like it, but it is true. The Premier League, the amount of money swilling around the Premier League puts all Premier League clubs in a different stratosphere to most football clubs. Yeah. I imagine that the Saudi project will upset this a little bit It will change the
It
power
just
of
gives
the Premier
another
League.
option, doesn't it?
It gives another option.
And weirdly, it gives an option to Premier League clubs to get rid of players who are on massive contracts. That they don't, for instance, Romelu Lukaku, if he did want to go there. The issue is that weirdly, I think, is going to be sometimes selling it to some of the players who maybe are a bit more ambitious and don't just want a payday.
But you see, the Saudi League is actually at the epicenter of this transfer saga, because I would hazard a guess that without the income and the ridiculous income that was generated for Fabinho and Henderson, over 50 million quid for those two players, they're not worth. Look, they're elite players in terms of what they represent and what they once were. Yeah. But obviously, they're not worth over £50 million today. Yeah. No Premier League club is paying £40 million for Fabinho today. No. But that is inexorably linked to Liverpool's ability to now bid for Caicedo, which has an impact on Chelsea, which has ultimately benefited Brighton because a bidding war has ensued, all off the back of the Fabinho transfer.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
this has been, you're so right, with the influx of that league, this window has just kind of blown out.
Do you know the terrifying thing about it? It's kind of, this is it now. Yeah. Like, when obviously Addy and I did a show on talkSPORT where we were talking a lot about transfers. We were talking about what's going to happen, how's it all going to go. This is the moment. The day that we were predicting, we said something's going to happen. It will be the domino effect. The second that day happens, the transfer window will spring into life and it will have a knock-on effect time and time and time again. Today is the day.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.